as well, and here's the speedster, Portia Woodman. Can she get away from Kostic? She can, and the second attempt, oh, bumper! What a try for Woodman. I tell you what, there was anger.
That was Portia Woodman, the phenom from New Zealand, playing the part of Solana, stiff-arming Ethereum as well as the other alts for that #1 spot pushing into the bull cycle end zone. I'm going to be breaking down some very interesting news stories. I'm going to be talking about Solana meme coins that have been getting the attention of Wall Street, even one that's been called the blue chip meme, making over $500 million in market share in just a handful of hours. KZR, I'm going to be touching on our penny stock play from yesterday, KZR, and give you guys some fresh technicals. But I'm also going to be advising of some things that are concerning to me in the up move currently on Solana. I'm going to be identifying some key levels of support that if you've not taken a position in this #1 crypto for this 2024 crypto alt season, I'm going to be telling you guys where the best buy price might possibly be, as well as give you guys some predictions as to where I see the price going overall. This is going to be a great video. This is the Stocks with Josh show. Thank you guys for watching today. Thank you for already hitting the like before you even got into the meat of this video. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Hit that subscribe button to join the Stock Josh fam and continue to get hot crypto and stock content, trade alerts, and technicals. Okay. I want to kick off a little bit with the stock market today, but this is really the sentiment of investors overall. There's a report called the AAII report, and it measures the sentiment of investors very broadly. And there was a change in the report that I wanted to highlight to you guys, that the bearishness has begun to tick up. Okay, so investors looking at the near-term future of the stock market and their overall investment portfolios are saying that they're a little bit more bearish than they had been. This tick up of around 5 to 6% denoted a potential change in investors. They're getting a little bit more cautious after this last Fed report of keeping the rates higher. All right, let's just recap a little bit on my paper chasing penny stock play that I loaded in the Discord yesterday at 88 cents. It's come up above $1. The goal is 120, but more specifically, if we were to squeeze and close above 120, there's very little resistance on the volume range visual profile between 120 and $2. And so there's more opportunity than just the move from 88 cents to $1.20. But one thing I want to tell you guys is from the time I gave you that call, we're up already 18%. I've put my stop loss in. And the way that I deal with these paper chasing penny stocks is that if I get kicked out, I want to pause and just give it some time and I don't jump right back in. And so this is just meant to be a very quick play. Don't get caught without putting a stop loss in. People come back to me later asking me about it when I'm out already. My capital is protected with a stop loss. We've come up 18%, and I encourage you to protect your capital with a stop loss as well. It was interesting to me that there is a price analyst target for 2025 of $20 for this particular company. I'll tell you guys, any type of bioscience play, they're often penny stocks. They have huge upswing potential. There's a couple people identifying that if these guys accomplish in their field what they're attempting to accomplish, there are people saying that this would become overnight a $20 stock. Now, that's really cool and that's really interesting. But for the most part, I really don't care because I'm going to protect my capital because nobody knows for sure whether they will do anything, but there is the possibility. And so we may just keep this one on our watch list and play it from time to time. Let's see how this initial move potentially goes. All right, the big news for today that I wanted to cover about our intro was Solana has been declared the most popular blockchain so far this year by CoinGecko Research. And I want you guys to check out this chart with me because it tells a pretty interesting story. So we can see with our own eyes that Solana is not just a little bit ahead of all of the other altcoins. This is the #1 altcoin for investor interest in the world in 2024, leading by as much as 49%, which it means that half of all investors in the world think Solana should be in the #1 spot this particular crypto cycle. So we've got to stop and acknowledge this very interesting research. Ethereum doing quite well, but in that #2 spot. Now I know that the ETH family is just going to hate me for this, but I want to remind you guys, I'm a chart guy. What I like is to find the truth in the charts. And what the truth is in this particular chart is that sentiment of bullishness and interest is primarily circulating around the Solana ecosystem this particular crypto cycle. And I've been pointing it out to you guys. When Bitcoin pulled back, it used to be that Ethereum would pump up a little bit. But in this last couple pullbacks, we've seen Bitcoin and Ethereum come back together, but Solana pumped. I told you guys that we would have a $200 Solana, and we did get that $200 Solana. But in a little while, I'm going to take you guys into the charts because we're seeing potentially a head and shoulders pattern on the 4-hour time frame, as well as a couple other concerning indicators in the charts, which might be signaling that after this initial pump up, there's going to be a pullback, and we're going to try to identify what the best potential areas of re-entry, or if you're going long, the best potential area to buy some more Solana. I'm going to give that to you guys in this video. But let's take a minute and look at this chart just a little bit more. BNB, an important project in the #3 spot. But what I wanted to also point out to you guys is who else is leading the way. Halfway down this list, we see two cryptos that I have been talking to you guys about quite a bit, SEI and SUI, and they are ahead of Polygon, Cardano, and Polkadot. They're ahead of a lot of the legacy projects. And I think this is what's important about that. I'm not telling you guys to dump Ethereum, dump ADA. You guys know that I did let my Polkadot go. But what I am telling you guys is to recognize that this chart represents attention, interest, and focus. And wherever people are paying attention, that's where the money's going to flow. And what we want to see is we want to see our investments. We bought in, let's say, at a market cap of $2 billion on SEI and SUI, for example. We want to see that when this market begins to pump, we want to see that go to 10, 20, 30, 40 billion in market cap, because that means that our money's going to 2x, 3x, and 4x, and 5x, and potentially 10x in those particular investments. And at the moment, this chart is a really good opportunity for people to assess, do you own cryptos in this list? And if you don't recognize some of the names, I'm breaking down some of these new names for some of you guys that aren't the legacy projects on this page every day. It's why you guys should hit the subscribe so you can keep getting those breakdowns. As I'm going to show you guys in a minute, that Solana has had a very powerful run up, and we are essentially cooling off a little bit, and that's good. But I don't think the run up is over. I think there's a lot of room for this to go higher because the alt season and the crypto bull cycle is in full swing. We've got a lot of time ahead of us. We've got the halving event ahead of us. If we get a little bit of pullback, it's an opportunity to buy. But here's what I want you guys to understand about the Solana ecosystem is that the projects within their ecosystem are getting a ton of attention. And some of those have been the meme coins. Now, I brought a number of those to your guys' attention. I am in Dog with Hat. The ticker symbol is WIF. I purchased that one, I believe, on MEXC. That's an exchange that I brought to your guys' attention where I'm able to get into these projects early before they come to the larger, broader retail space like Coinbase. If you guys want to check that out, there's a link in the top pinned comment. If you are here in the United States, it needs to be used in conjunction with NORD VPN, which gives you privacy. It doesn't reveal to anybody where you're at, and then you are not subject to some of the limitations there. Just look into that. Both links are in the top pinned comment. All right, some of the interesting news stories surrounding the WIF token, Dog with Hat. Dog with Hat meme coin's iconic photo sold as NFT for $4.3 million. And so the picture that was used to represent this particular meme coin sold for $4.3 million as an NFT. Of course, Bonk is a very big meme coin on the Solana ecosystem, but I want to identify one that is actually been shocking in its growth, and that is actually one called Slurf. Let's check this out. Solana meme coin Slurf clocks higher trading volume than all of Ethereum, Slurf, a blue chip meme. People are chasing after any coin that's getting released through the Solana ecosystem. Slurf happened to be an absolute payday, a monumental opportunity for people that put in a couple $100. They saw well over a 100x, and so that's why the Solana ecosystem is definitely one to be paying attention to this particular bull cycle. But let's identify what the charts are saying to us and what is the problem in the charts. I'm going to just go through this, right? There is a head and shoulders pattern on the 4-hour time frame pointing to a potential lower move. Now, it's very hard when you have these angled head and shoulder patterns to identify what the neckline is. I wouldn't even be able to guess too well. It looks to be around 162, maybe even in the $158 range. It's in that general range. But here's the important thing. If we break through this particular zone, it's basically telling us that we're going to come back to a structural support below. Now, the area that I've identified of key interest is around $147. Now, some people are going to say right away, well, Josh, are you saying that this thing's going down to $147? Is it going to fall that much? I don't know. What you need to watch for is a break of that head and shoulders pattern, because yes, these have run up very strong. They will pull back. Crypto is extremely volatile and will easily have 30 to 40% moves up and down. That's why we trade crypto to begin with, and I'm wanting to warn you guys that there is some bearishness in this chart. I'm expecting movement between that lower level of the neckline around 160, potentially all the way back up to 176, but 176 is going to be strong resistance until we break above it, and we are going to be battling and finding some of the lower support ranges. That's what I think is happening with Solana. And so with this video sort of highlighting with the exciting growth potential for Solana, I want you guys to remember we don't chase. We want to wait for these bigger dramatic pullbacks when people begin to get scared, and that's when we want to enter and increase our positions. So I want to leave you guys with some predictions for Solana. Simple fib-based predictions. I believe that we are going to get to our all-time high, which was $260. That seems to be almost a no-brainer at this point once we find a local bottom. So wait, be patient, spread out your buys, go in heavier on the support levels that I gave you guys, like that ascending line. But I do believe that we will come back and test that 260. With all of this interest in the Solana ecosystem, I do believe that we'll make a new high. And the most practical area where that could potentially be would be all the way up to $420. That would be a realistic high. Now, some people are going to tell you it's going to go way higher, and there is a path potentially in an incredibly bullish market. There's a path up to $800 to $900. I like to kind of take one level at a time, and we actually have two levels before us right now that we've got to work our way through. One of the next levels that's ahead of us is to defeat the all-time high level, right? That 260 range. We've got to get back there, and we've got to show momentum and volume above that level. We haven't done that yet. So for you guys to be looking at this as an investment, you look at it in a series of steps. Right now, we're coming back, potential accumulation as low as 150. Then we could get back up to 260, 300. There's a 100% move there. And then once we get there, I would expect some sideways consolidation. And then there is the final push up of this crypto bull market, which is probably in the course of 2024 or 2025. And that's later on where we could see that potential 420. And then we'll assess it many times between now and then. But I wanted you guys to have some predictions for Solana, realizing that the world has chosen this ecosystem right now to win the overall popularity contest. And I know that some of you don't like to hear it, but right now, Solana is stiff arming ETH, ADA, DOT, the legacy coins, and every other crypto project combined, taking up almost 50% of investors' interest. And so that's why when Bitcoin pulled back, Solana pushed higher. So keep it on your radar, but more importantly, we're going to be really focusing on the projects that are coming out of the ecosystem, because there's going to be the potential of a 2x, right, for Solana overall. You can probably have that as a realistic goal, but when you get into the projects coming out of the Solana or being built on the Solana ecosystem, those are the ones that are going to 10, 20, 100x, and in the case of Slurf, way higher than that. Those are the ones that can make millionaires, and I'm going to continually focus on them and bring them to your guys' attention. This is definitely one for us to be paying attention to. Thank you guys for joining me today. If you are looking for a place to buy those early projects before they're released on Coinbase, you're going to have to get an exchange like MEXC. That's the one I'm using to get on board with these early projects. You're going to need the MEXC, and you're going to need the NORD VPN. Check those out. I'll leave a link for both of them in the top pinned comment and the description of this video. And I am coming out with a detailed small mini course to help people move money around safely and understand how both of those softwares work and how to trade on them and how to protect your capital on them. I'm coming out with that. That's something I'm working on right now, guys. So look for that down the road. Thank you very much. Appreciate each and every one of you. Enjoy your weekend, and we will talk again soon. Peace and blessings.